The crowd inside the glittering wedding hall grew silent when a luxurious black limousine rolled to a stop outside. No one expected the groom's ex-wife to show up, and certainly not like this. The chauffeur stepped out, polished shoes clicking against the pavement, and opened the door. A woman emerged, tall, graceful, her gown flowing like royalty. Behind her, 3 children stepped out, their little hands holding onto hers. Gasps echoed through the air. The triplets had the same sharp jawline, the same brown eyes, and the same smile as the groom, and in that single moment, Armin's confident grin vanished, because the woman he had invited to shame was no longer the broken wife he left behind. She was power, strength, and dignity wrapped in one, and she had returned with the truth. TACT-1 pest lovey Maya was never the type of woman men chased for her money or status. She came from a simple neighborhood where people lived paycheck to paycheck. Her father had been a mechanic, her mother a homemaker, and Maya herself loved small joys, reading, sewing, helping neighbors. When she met Armin, she believed in fairy tales again. He was handsome, ambitious, and smooth with his words. He promised her the world, and she, innocent and hopeful, gave him her whole heart. They got married young, in a modest ceremony. Maya wore a borrowed dress and Armin a second-hand suit, but she didn't care, for her love was enough. She worked late at a tailoring shop while Armin studied business and dreamed big. Whenever he got discouraged, she whispered, "I believe in you, Armin. One day, you'll achieve everything you want." But Armin wanted more than belief. He wanted status. He wanted luxury, and slowly her love no longer seemed enough. TACT-20. Betrayal. One rainy night, after she had prepared a simple dinner of lentils and bread, Armin sat across the table with an unreadable expression. "Maya," he said, "I can't live like this anymore." She blinked. "Like what?" "Poor, struggling, embarrassed every time I look at my friends. You can't give me the life I want." Her throat tightened. "But Armin will get there. Together. Just a little more patience." He cut her off sharply. "I don't want patience, I want results, and with you I see none." Those words shattered her. A week later, the divorce papers came. He had already chosen someone else, a wealthy woman from a business family who could provide the connections and money he craved. Maya begged him to stay. She told him she was pregnant, but instead of joy, his face turned darker. "Pregnant?" he snapped. "That's the last thing I need. I'm building a future, not dragging 3 mouths behind me." She realized then he didn't just stop loving her, he had never valued her at all. To Han ACT-30. Steer Gigilis, pregnant and abandoned, Maya faced the hardest fight of her life. When the doctor told her she was expecting triplets, she nearly fainted. How could she raise 3 babies alone, with no money, no support, and a broken heart? The early days were brutal. She stitched clothes for neighbors to afford food. She went hungry some nights so her babies could drink milk. One evening, when she had nothing left in her kitchen but a stale piece of bread, she sat on the floor, holding her crying babies, and whispered through tears, "Don't cry, my angels. One day, Mama will make you proud, I promise." Neighbors mocked her. She was left because she wasn't enough. She'll never survive. But every insult only fueled her fire. She turned her sewing into a business. First small, then bigger. She worked while her babies napped, often falling asleep with a needle still in her hand. Her resilience became her armor. Her triplets, 2 boys and a girl, became her strength. TACT-4 years passed and Maya's designs began to shine. Her talent caught the eye of a fashion blogger, then a local magazine, and soon her boutique was the talk of the city. Her clothes were unique, not just stitched with thread but with emotion. Every piece carried her story of pain, struggle, and triumph. Investors came. Her business grew. Maya went from a small shop owner to a respected name in the fashion industry. And her children, bright, disciplined, and kind, stood beside her as her greatest trophies. The woman once mocked as the poor ex-wife was now admired as a successful entrepreneur and a proud mother. To an ACT-5ES-WLS. Meanwhile, Armin's dream life wasn't so dreamy. The wealthy woman he married gave him access to money, but not love. His business ventures flopped. His arrogance drove partners away. He became dependent on his fiancée's family, but he still carried his pride like a crown. When he announced his grand wedding with his fiancée, he couldn't resist the urge to send Maya an invitation, not out of affection, but cruelty. She'll walk in wearing cheap clothes, desperate for attention. Everyone will see how far I've come and how far she's fallen. He smiled at the thought. He didn't know that while he was plotting her humiliation, Maya was preparing her quiet victory. To CT6E. TGMUDMTDU. The wedding hall was adorned with golden chandeliers and roses. Guests in glittering clothes filled the seats, sipping champagne, gossiping. Armin stood at the altar, chest puffed, adjusting his designer suit. He whispered to a friend, "Wait till Maya walks in. This will be the best part of the night." But when the limousine pulled up outside, silence fell. Out stepped Maya, radiant and regal, her gown shimmering under the lights. The triplets followed, their little tuxedos and dresses making them look like stars. Gasps, murmurs, shock. "Are those his kids? They look exactly like him. She's glowing, she looks wealthier than the bride." Armin froze. His confident grin melted into panic. His fiancée's family stared at him with suspicion. Maya walked in gracefully, not as the broken woman he remembered, but as a queen, AACT-17. Tichi Kofrun Tition. When she reached the front, Armin hissed under his breath, "Cho, what are you doing here? You weren't supposed to come like this." Maya smiled softly. "Cho, you invited me to shame me, remember? But look around." Armin, who looks ashamed now. The whispers grew louder. His fiancée demanded answers, her parents glared, and the entire wedding atmosphere collapsed. Armin stammered, "They're not mine." But the triplets' faces told the truth louder than any words could. His fiancée pulled off her ring and threw it at him. "Troy, you lied to me. You're nothing but a fraud." The ceremony crumbled. Guests left, the family cut ties, and Armin was left standing alone. Tutu Shact. Herr vid Isid Oe. Maya didn't stay to gloat. She didn't need to. She held her children's hands, lifted her head high, and walked out of the hall with dignity. The same crowd that once pitied her now looked at her with admiration. Her success, her strength, her children, that was her revenge. Ishuri Inji Masaji. Maya's story is not just about betrayal, it's about rising from ashes. She proved that no matter how hard life breaks you, you can rebuild stronger. She showed that true wealth isn't money, but love, dignity, and perseverance. And she reminded us all that karma always comes back. If this story touched your heart, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Tell me in the comments. Do you believe life always gives justice in the end? And remember, this is your channel. Be kind always. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and resilience, hit like, subscribe, and share this story so more people can find hope through it. Because no matter how dark the night is, kindness and strength will always light the way.